Hello, Elaine Harvey here from Lulla Baby SOS, and today is Friday. I normally don't do videos, I normally don't even get on Facebook on Fridays, but today I've got my night off and my daughter is actually at a friend's birthday party, so I've got some time to myself, so I thought I'd take advantage and pop this post up. This is a post that I've been wanting to put up for a while, but I don't find video posting very easy. So yeah, it's just taken me a little bit to do this post. But if your baby is going to sleep, doing a longer block of sleep at the beginning of the night, and then 2 hours, and then every hour thereafter, so kind of maybe 11, 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If your baby's got a pattern similar to that, this video is for you. Okay, because I'm going to tell you why your baby's waking up and how to fix it. Okay, so if your baby is waking up and basically doing a similar block to that, long block, 2 hours, and every hour thereafter, the problem is that you have given them an external association to fall asleep. Now, the most common external association that parents do is that they feed their baby to sleep and feed them to go back to sleep overnight time. So I'm challenging you, as I do many of my clients, not to feed your baby to sleep and not to feed them back to sleep. And I pretty much guarantee that you will see dramatic improvements in one night. So if you're up for the challenge, this is what you need to do. You need to do a bath and bedtime routine. And parents will always tell me, I've got a really good bath and bedtime routine. That doesn't matter. If you've got a bath and bedtime routine that ends in feeding to sleep, your bath and bedtime routine is a problem. Okay? So with your bath and bedtime routine, I want you to move from the living area to bathroom to bedroom. Get your baby dressed, then sit down and give them a milk feed. But that you sit down with the lights on. It doesn't have to be middle of the room light, but it has to be lights on. That you keep their sleeping bag off and that you don't sit and pat and feed them to sleep. You've got to think, this I am feeding you so that you are full, so that you can go to sleep with a full tummy and sleep for a long time. I am not feeding you to sleep. If you feed your baby to sleep, every single time that they link a sleep cycle overnight time, they are going to look for that feed to go back to sleep. It's like you falling asleep in your bed with your pillow and your duvet and waking up at 11 o'clock at night and it's gone. They're not just falling on the floor gone, they're gone. You're not going to roll over and just go, oh well, I'll go back to sleep. You're going to get up out of bed and go and find your duvet and pillow and then bring them back to bed. And this is exactly what's happening when you feed your baby to sleep. They wake up at their next sleep cycle and they go, hang on a second, where's my duvet and pillow? Where's my boob and my mum that put me to sleep in the first place? They call out, you come back, you put them back there, they go back to sleep, and the cycle continues. So I want you to not feed your baby to sleep. Feed them, burp them, then put them into the sleeping bag. Turn the lights off, turn your white noise on, pick them up, give them a cuddle for about 2 minutes, and pop them into bed. Tuck them in and allow them a brief amount of time to try and self-settle. If they can't, help them to fall off to sleep with patting, shushing, jiggling, but don't feed them to sleep. Overnight time when your baby wakes up, I want you to one, wait and see if they're hungry, because whenever your baby is going through a sleep cycle, their brain and the tummy need to have a chat to each other and figure out how hungry I am. Okay, so if your baby wakes up, let them have a bit of a grizzle. Let them decide how hungry I am. And then if they start to cry and it's been more than 4 hours, go and feed them. Okay, but when you feed them, get them out of bed. Turn a light on, not the middle of the room light, but ambient light. Turn it on. Feed them, Change the nappy halfway through, they're out of their sleeping bag, talk to them. So literally overnight, I want you to disregard everything that you've been told. I don't want you to feed them in the dark. I don't want you to feed them back to sleep. I don't want you to feed them drowsy and don't let them wake up too much. I want to do the complete opposite. I want you to get them out and say, hey buddy, how are you? Get up, let's have a feed. Keep them awake, play with their arms, annoy them to keep them awake. Change the nappy halfway through. And then finish the feed. Then put them back in their sleeping bag, give them a cuddle, and put them back into bed. Okay? And when you put them back into bed, you tuck them in, and you say goodnight, and you walk out, and you let them try and put themselves back to sleep. If your baby has woken you up because they are hungry, and you have addressed that hunger, and you put them back to bed without feeding them back to sleep, they will go back to sleep. And then they will associate their cot and their bed with falling off to sleep. They'll go, yep, I'm full. And they'll grunt and snuffle because they're not going to just go straight back to sleep like that. If they go straight back to sleep like that, you fed them to sleep, okay? I want him to go in, or her, to go into their bed and spend about 10 minutes trying to fall back to sleep, because that tells me that they are aware of their bed and they're aware of where they fell asleep, okay? So if you do that, and you make sure that they go in there and they're aware, if you need to help them, fine, go and help them. Give them a pat, give them a jiggle. Try to avoid eye contact, try to avoid picking them up, help them fall off to sleep. But most likely you won't need to help them if you fed them to fall, not to sleep. The next time that they wake up, it will most likely be a lot longer than what they've usually been doing. Wait 4 hours in between feeds. If they wake up before the 4 hours, go in and pat and resettle. If it's been more than 4 hours, depending on their age obviously, then you can go and feed them awake, and put them back into bed awake. And I can pretty much guarantee that that will dramatically improve the amount of times that they're waking up. If your baby falls to sleep sucking, every single time they hit a REM sleep cycle, they're going to expect to be sucking and expect to be wherever they were where they fell asleep. So what you need to do is you need to satisfy that hunger and then help them to fall asleep in their bed so that they don't look for the sucking to resettle. So please, I challenge you tonight to feed your baby, but feed them awake and put them back into bed and see what happens. I hope this has been a good tip. I hope you all have a good Friday, and I will see you all next week. Bye bye.